Welcome to CYF Spotlight, presented by the Commission on Children, Youth, and Families. The Commission is a joint effort between the City of Farmington Hills and the City of Farmington. Its purpose is to foster a healthier community by focusing on our most precious resources, our children and our families. The Commission is made up of dedicated volunteers and community activists from all walks of life. Working together with other groups and agencies in the community, the Commission creates programs with one goal: to encourage a supportive environment where children, youth, and families are happy, healthy, educated, and safe, and have the opportunity to reach their full potential. The Commission is hosting this show to bring our focus and activities to the community. We welcome your input and support. You can learn more about our Commission at our website, www.cyf.us. According to the most recent data, 6.5 million children live in households headed by a grandparent. 71% of those grandparents are younger than 60, and most are working. On today's CYF show, we are going to talk about grandparents raising grandchildren. Our guests are Lacenia Jones and Mary Beth Sikora from the Farmington Public Schools. They are parent community coordinators. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I understand that this phenomenon of grandparents raising grandchildren is increasing, and we're not just talking about a visit, are we?
No, we're talking about grandparents being the primary people in the young people's lives.
And what format does this take? What are you seeing?
We are seeing several formats. Sometimes it could be the grandparents as the primary persons in the home. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it could be the grandparents with maybe one of the parents living with them, but still the responsibility falling greatly upon grandparents. Those are just two of the configurations, but those are the two that we most often see.
Okay. What are some of the reasons that grandparents need to be raising their grandchildren today?
There are many reasons, and often we get into the stereotypical reasons that we tend sometimes to think of dysfunction first, but that is not always the case. There are reasons such as military deployment, illness, death, and economic conditions, and many other social challenges, but it's much broader than we often think.
We were speaking before the show about how this is almost coming full circle, that we have heard so many stories about generations earlier. Families stayed together multiple generations in one home, and it seems like we're seeing a return to that. Is that true?
We really do, and as Lacenia spoke about, there's so many different reasons for this. As we look at it and as we do our work, we really see the richness of that. And it really does look different in every family unit and throughout our community, but it definitely is prevalent.
Well, and Lacenia, you had mentioned also that just because we in society move to separate homes and generations living apart, we still need the support of the extended family, right?
The extended family is still in play, just that different configuration. Now there are separate units, but very often the grandparents still step in to be the support people, and in some cases they are required to be more support than in others, but it's sort of a revisit to a time past when grandparents were there.
Sure. Now I understand that you formed a grandparents group this year in the Farmington Public Schools. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this group.
It's an exciting group. We began about mid-year, and we had different staff throughout our buildings speak with us that grandparents from a number of different settings were coming and asking for some support. And the request was made, and so we determined that yes, we would. The exciting piece is that it has really been the grandparents who have determined the path that the group is taking.
Wow.
It really is finding out what their needs are and how we can support them as a school district as well as a community.
And tell me some details about the group. How often does it meet? What kinds of programs do you have?
We meet once a month, and just during the school year. And our programs, really, I'd like to share the wish list, if I could, that our participants developed. And that is exactly what it was called, a wish list. The number one piece was more grandparents to talk to for support.
Okay.
To really have that camaraderie and that listening ear. Also, some respite ideas, a respite center, respite care, so that they would also be able to have a little relief time. Ways to agree on common rules as far as that piece about positive behavior and some boundaries and expectations. Legal assistance was also an area, as well as resources. Fortunately, we were able, in our sessions up until this time, to meet all those needs, and we've had some fabulous, very rich sessions.
That's wonderful. Now, is this open to the public? Any grandparent who's raising a grandchild can attend?
Absolutely. We are fortunate that our school community relations department does send out information and reminders every month, letting the groups know or our community know what the topics are. One of the areas that I did omit was child development. It was very interesting in our first session that a number of the grandparents said, you know, it's been so many years since my children were young, and I don't really remember the development stages. And is what they're doing right now really in line with the stages in the process? So we had some fabulous school psychologists come and share some material and information about that.
Wonderful.
So yes, grandparents, and as Lacenia spoke about, the grandparents who join us each month, it can either be that they are the head of that household, and perhaps the children's parents are not in that household, and sometimes it is a combination.
Okay. Wow. Now, I know that there must be challenges and joys in raising a grandchild as the sole parent or as the one of the parents. I'm sure there are many factors that come up, both not being able to be just the traditional grandparent who takes you out for ice cream and gets to have the fun, but other things as well. Can you enlighten us to some of those challenges and joys that grandparents face?
Well, Mary Beth mentioned a couple of them, and one of them is the support group. You know, when we are young parents first time around, generally we have neighbors and friends who are having similar experiences that we can bounce ideas off, find out where resources are, and move forth. But as grandparents, sometimes we don't have that because we need to try to find peers that understand our needs and can share information with us. But also there are new environmental social issues that I know when I was raising my kids, I never had to worry about some of the social media and the kinds of things that happen there and the tools that I need to be able to respond to that. And so those are some of the newer issues that grandparents face. Just sometimes having to upgrade technological skills, perhaps to get a parent-teacher conference at conference time. You might need to log on somewhere to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Or to other pieces of communication that are far more efficient than a note used to be, you know, maybe email or just visiting the teacher's website to get the information that you need. So those are some of the challenges, not to mention the new curriculum approaches. That creates sometimes quite the spirited discussion between grandparents and their grandchildren because the teacher may have demonstrated a skill a particular way. And as grandparents, we may be demonstrating the skill the way we remember it. And then we are quickly told by the little ones that that's not the way.
Well, it's not just for grandparents because we first-time around parents are struggling with the new math too, definitely. What other challenges? There's technology, there's the curriculum, the social aspect. Is there any sadness in losing that special grandparent relationship while taking on the more disciplinarian or parental role?
One of the pieces that many of our grandparents share is there's also for a grieving that the child is having, that that parent may, perhaps not be able to be in their life daily or be able to give them the support. We have had some of our grandparents ask us towards the end of the school year if we might look into some support groups for their grandchildren